Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Inner Spaces Media, where it's our goal to inspire, empower, and transform. Today, I'm going to talk about 5 things that only little children can do, but adults can't. Make sure you stay to the end of the video because I'm going to give you some tips on how, as an adult, you can enjoy the child that's still in you. The first thing little kids can do that adults can't is completely suspend reality. Have you ever tasted a mud pie? Well, I have. I'm talking real sand mixed with water and shaped into the form of a pie. No, my friends and I didn't eat the whole thing. We just tasted our pie and raved about how good it was. We sat on the ground and gathered the amount of sand and dirt we wanted. And then we poured water from our pail and mixed it and formed it into the shape of a pie. We always put a leaf or a sprig from one of the trees or bushes in the yard on top for decoration. Imagine that. How many adults would be so into their imagination they'd eat dirt and pretend it was a delicious pie? But when I was growing up, my playmates and I used our imagination in strange ways and created worlds customized to our reality. Over 50 years later, I've seen my grandchildren doing the same thing, creating worlds to suit their wishes. I have to admit that tasting mud cakes is a bit weird and way out there. My grandchildren's imagination wouldn't motivate them to do such a thing. But I remember how they'd have conversations with their LOL dolls, put them to bed, and pretend to feed them food made of plastic. Like I did as a child, they could step completely outside of reality and go into a space where anything was possible. This suspension of reality was so natural. They weren't self conscious or embarrassed. Only kids can suspend reality this way. Unfortunately, they can only do this up until the age where society's expectations and their own acclimation into the real world kick in. Then that natural ability to suspend reality is suppressed, or it may even leave them. The second thing little kids can do that adults can't is live in the moment. The present is a kid's playmate. They jump into the now with all fours and aren't concerned about yesterday or the future. This natural ability protects them from having regrets from the past and worrying about what ifs or what might happen in the future. When children are playing, their minds are focused just on the playing. I remember playing games like hopscotch, jackstones, springboard, and hide and seek. I was completely absorbed in the games. Time didn't exist, and neither did whatever my life was yesterday or what my life would be in the future. My grandchildren are the same way. When they play, when they play house and pretend to feed their dolls, most adults have habits that scatter their attention. They can be engaged in an activity, even one they enjoy, but their minds are somewhere else. They may not even be putting the full energy of the moment into what they're doing. So, this takes away from the enjoyment of the activity. Adults shortchange themselves and don't fully take advantage of how unique the moment is and what that moment can bring to their lives. It would be great if children were able to hold onto that ability to enjoy the now and be in the present as they grow. The third thing little kids can do that adults can't is have unconditional trust. Children trust unconditionally because they haven't yet developed that skepticism that comes as you age. They feel safe and believe they're protected, especially by adults. I remember my father telling me how when he came home from work and drove into the driveway, I would be standing at the edge of the porch. He had to hurry and get to the porch because I loved to jump into his arms. He knew that if he didn't make it to the porch in time, I would jump anyway. I wasn't judging my distance. I was just looking at him and believing that he would catch me when I jumped. Years later, I took a course called the Energy Exchange. It taught how to release and let go of limitations and things that hold us back. One of the exercises involved in that class was practicing the ability to trust. Each person in the class was asked to fall back into the arms of four other people who stood behind them. Some people couldn't do it. They wouldn't even try. And I had a very hard time. I did manage to fall back and they did catch me, but I was so uncomfortable. I could never let go completely of the fear as I fell back, even though there were four people holding their arms out to catch me. I really didn't completely trust that they would catch me. After all those years, I still feel uncomfortable when I remember falling back. I have to constantly work on keeping that unconditional trust I had as a child, freely jumping from the porch into my father's arms and believing that he'd catch me. The fourth thing little kids can do that adults can't is see magic in everything, in everyday things. I remember walking bare feet through puddles and squishing the sand between my toes. My friend Avery and I used to play whisper, where we'd see who could come up with the funniest word or phrase and whisper it in each other's ear. Sometimes the words would be so silly and funny we couldn't stop laughing. The clouds and the stars in the sky at night, they kept us in a state of wonder about their mysteries. We played for hours with the giant cardboard boxes Mr. Rush, the store owner, gave us. We drew pictures of ourselves on the outside and sat inside and played jackstones. I remember the day my grandson saw his shadow for the first time. Most adults don't even notice their shadow anymore. He was fascinated and kept moving around trying to outrun his shadow. Red lollipops made him happy. Also, it was something about band-aids that were special to him. He thought they were so cool and wanted one put on the tiniest bruise or scratch. When I go to the park, I see kids mesmerized by bugs and birds hopping around and taking off in flight. They pick up rocks and they see value in them that adults can no longer see. There are many everyday things that carry magic, and little kids can be our mentors in showing us how to enjoy these simple, everyday things. The fifth thing and last thing kids can do that adults can't is love without holding grudges. Have you ever noticed how little kids have no problem hugging after they've been mad with each other? Then they start right back playing as if nothing ever happened. They share their toys again and again. Kids feel special helping each other with tasks like tying their friends' shoes, even after a disagreement. I remember hearing my grandchildren say, "I'm sorry," throughout the whole day. They had no problem apologizing, which was easier because they weren't holding grudges or resentment. Forgiveness seems so easy to kids, and it's natural. Maybe their inborn need to play, laugh, and have fun helps them let go of anger and resentment. If little kids see their friends upset, they automatically offer comfort, often in the form of hugs, even if they've recently had conflict. One of the things kids will do that adults can't is continue to share secrets and confidence after disagreements. They aren't able to think that, what if they tell their other friend? They might be ashamed or they might be trying to trick me. But kids don't think that way. So we need to use kids as our mentors because they can teach us so many things. If their friend gets hurt, they'll be genuinely concerned right after an argument. Kids have a thing about needing everyone to play fair. They also want everyone to have their chance in the game. These abilities of kids to let go of negative feelings quickly and focus on the positive aspects of their relationship make them great examples of love and forgiveness. They can be our role models and show us how to create free, uncluttered relationships. Before I go, I want to give you a few tips on how I tap into my inner child to improve my life. I try to see the uniqueness and wonder in every person I meet. I try to keep myself open for forgiveness. I don't mind being silly. I laugh a lot, often at myself and also at the goofy things in life. I play games and walk at night when the moon is out. I go to amusement parks and talk to all kinds of people. I love watching the cartoons that were popular when I was young. Cartoons like Popeyes, Tom and Jerry, Betty Boop, Bugs Bunny. I bake cupcakes and decorate them. I still play with my puzzles. I put my favorite music on and dance like no one is watching. I connect with my family and the youthful energy of my grandchildren. I never go to bed angry and try to live every day like a child, joyful, free, and fully alive and uninhibited. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe to my channel and return often to get more information that can inspire, empower, and transform you. Until next time, be well, be safe, and be prosperous.